Good afternoon, children. Welcome back to another episode of Table for One. And you'll never guess what I'm holding here in my little mitts. It comes from Department of Health and Human Services. Just kind of briefly before I get into it, as most of you are well aware now, I've been divorced now for close to 3.5 years. And I'm going to remind you guys that just because the ink is dry on the divorce decree doesn't mean your problems are completely over. As long as you have an ex-wife in your life and you're providing financial support to her, she's always going to be somewhat of a problem. Now, mine isn't a frequent flyer in the problem department per se, but what I'm about to go through here, guys, is child support review and modification. Now, I was going to wait until I went through the whole process, court, and determination if my child support was going to go up or not, which I'm kind of thinking it probably will go up. It just, as you should be well aware by now, and if not, I would be getting aware of it, that family court does not tend to favor men very well. So, but anyways, I was going to do a whole video from start to finish on one session, but I'm now going into my 5th month with this review and modification. Haven't gone to court yet, but I'm going to go back in time to August of last year. August of last year. So I'm going to pull out my documents here. It's going to be kind of a stack of them here, because you get letters periodically and what have you. But I'm going to go through each letter I've gotten and explain what it is, and they're dated by month. So I'm only hoping to get maybe 20 minutes out of this video if I can, but here we go. Make sure. So yeah, the stack is, not very thick, but there's plenty of information here to work with, to talk about. So anyways, August 19th last year, we'll start August 19th. I get a copy of the same letter, 2 copies of the same letter in my mailbox. I zip it open and I pull out on the Department of Health and Human Services. What's this all about? And of course, it's dated August 19th. It's got my name and address. It's got RE to my ex-wife versus me. Now, remember, guys, when you go through divorce, the case that your divorce has is going to be you're the defendant and she is the plaintiff. Okay. She's the oppressed. You're the oppressor. Okay. I'm not trying to say that to be a dick, but that's kind of how you can interpret that. So it's her versus you. She's suing you for something. Okay. So when you divorce a woman, not only does she lose access to your security resources and protection, that's where family court steps in to make sure she is compensated somewhat for losing those resources. Okay. Now, what happens here now is I didn't get, she didn't want alimony, but she wanted child support. And child support, guys, doesn't matter if you're married or not. If you get a woman pregnant, whether it's while married or outside of marriage, and the relationship breaks up, you're still more than likely going to be on the hook for child support. So that being married has really nothing to do with child support, but it has more to do with the alimony. But we're not going to talk about alimony because I don't pay alimony. We're going to stick to the topic at hand, which is the child support review and modification. Let's see what's going on with the camera here. Okay, well, it went dark on me. So anyway, okay. So August 19th, I get this letter from Department of Health and Human Services. It says, review and modification unit, right to request a review. And it says, as a party subject to a Nebraska child support order, you have the right to request a review of the above referenced court order. The purpose of the review is to determine if the court order should be referred to the county authorized attorney for possible modification of the support amount and or include healthcare coverage. The review process is conducted by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services Review and Modification Unit. Okay. When you pay child support, not only are you providing a financial, I always say my wife is still on my payroll, so she's on my payroll, but I also have to carry health insurance on my youngest son that's still at home. Goes on to say, in the review, the income of both parties will be used to calculate the amount of support that should be paid by the non-custodial parent, which is yours truly. I am the non-custodial parent. When you get divorced, the mother is automatically awarded the custodial parent unless she is completely fucked up. I mean, completely fucked up, meaning hooked on drugs, she's a criminal, she's got severe mental health issues. The only way a woman will lose her custodial rights is through those three things I just mentioned there. And it says the amount could go up, down, or stay the same. Please be advised that the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services Review Modification Unit can only consider the financial information available at the time of review. There are certain factors that the court may consider when computing your child support amount that could change the final child support order. For example, the court may consider other children living with a non-custodial party when computing child support amount. In addition, financial circumstances may change between the time of the review and the court hearing that may increase or decrease the final amount of child support ordered. That's just a broad generalization. Says your order will be referred to the county authorized attorney for possible modification if there is a 10% change either upward or downward of at least $25 in the current child support amount. An order may be considered appropriate for referral for healthcare coverage if it is currently not included in the order and it is available to the responsible party at a reasonable cost. Now, if for the person that is going to request a review, the order must be at least 3 years old, and for current support, or the requesting party must demonstrate change in circumstances. The order is not a temporary support order. It has been at least 3 years. The youngest child in the order will not turn 19 within 12 months. Your request does not include modification of spousal support, custody, or visitation. At least one party resides in Nebraska. The non-custodial party is not institutionalized. And it goes on to say a non-custodial party that is incarcerated for more than 180 days may request a review. A person who is incarcerated for 180 days or less would not qualify based on Nebraska's revenue statute, And it says, please be advised, you cannot withdraw your request after you have been notified of the review results. This pretty much says, gives you an eligibility. Okay. It's been 3 years since you paid child support, and it's been 3 years since she's received child support. We can now, anytime after the third year, we could request a review modification. Either I can request it or she can request it. But as we go further, you'll learn that she has requested the review. So moving forward, one thing I will say, guys, this is for the state of Nebraska. I can't speak it's going to work the same in Wyoming or Texas or New York. I mean, I'm sure every state has a similar system, but the process will probably be a little different than Nebraska. Don't hold me to it. But guys, when you make that decision to have children, do your due diligence, do your homework, and look up the child support laws in your state and make sure that you understand them before you start dumping your seed in every girl you encounter. So that is August 19th. We'll put that aside. Now we're to October 7th of last year. So we got a couple months now, almost 2 months. And I get this in the mail. It's a packet. And it says review a modification unit, notice of intent to review packet. And I forgot to scratch off my last name. I don't need people knowing who my last name is. Okay, here is notice of intent to review packet. Okay, you get this in the mail. There's a packet, there's a questionnaire attached to it that you got to fill out and return within a set number of times or a set number of days. But I'm going to read that letter and then we'll go over the packet real quick. Dear Brian, the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services review modification received a request for a review of the above referenced child support order by your ex-wife. Get to scratch her name out real quick, but it's okay. We'll do that now. The purpose of this review is to determine if the court order should be referred for possible modification or to include healthcare coverage. However, if ex-wife does not return all the required review packet information by November 6, 2023, the request for review will be denied. Well, since then, she has submitted her paperwork as I have been required to submit mine. So we are in an active case here moving forward. In the review, the income of both parties will be used to calculate the amount of support that should be paid by the non-custodial parent. That's yours truly, Uncle Brian again. Other issues such as custody and visitation will not be considered. So I cannot bring up, oh, it's bullshit that I only get my son every other weekend and blah, blah, blah. And he, even though he chooses not to stay with me, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, moving forward. It tells me the Nebraska child support guidelines are available on the internet at blah, blah, blah. When the review is complete, we will notify each party of the review results. If either party disagrees with the results, a reconsideration may be requested. If the new amount of support varies from the current amount by 10% or more, but not less than $25 upward or downward, we will refer the order to the county authorized attorney. The difference must be based on financial circumstances that have lasted at least 3 months and are expected to last 6 more months. An order may be considered appropriate for referral for healthcare coverage if it is currently not included in the order and is available to the responsible party at a reasonable cost. If the review modification unit determines that a referral for modification is appropriate, we will forward the case to the county or authorized attorney for possible modification. The child support amount could go up, down, or remain the same. Please be advised that the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services Review Modification Unit can only consider the financial information available at the time of the review. There are certain factors that the county may consider when computing your child support. And I'm not going to show you the questionnaire, but some of the stuff on the review that they want you to submit is, well, it's right here. Okay, I'm not going to hold it up there for everybody to read, but I will sum it up for you. Please return the following information: the review questionnaire, last 2 years of federal income tax returns with all IRS schedules. If self-employed, provide 5 years of your federal income tax returns with all IRS schedules. All W-2s for the last 2 years. Again, if you're a 1099 worker for the last 2 years, you need to submit that. Pay stubs for the last 3 months, if not available, a written statement of your income for the last 3 months from your employer. Verification of all income from other sources, and finally, verification of the breakdown of costs to ensure yourself only and children if health care coverage is available or provided. That I have all submitted. Okay, I had to print off my pay stubs, had to do all this stuff. I'm not, obviously I didn't do the 1099 stuff because I'm not a 1099 employee. I'm a W-2 employee. But moving on to the requesting party review questionnaire. And, obviously they ask you for your personal data, my name, my address, phone number, email address, social security number, date of birth, the highest level of education I've completed, and then court order information. It wants me to know who all's on the court order, the case number, blah, blah. And it wants to know healthcare coverage. Ask me who my employer is, how much I pay for my health insurance premiums through work. Has your income decreased or increased in the last 3 months? Blah, blah, blah. And then your primary employment, ask me who my employer is, their address, phone number, my payroll deductions, if I have a second employer, blah, blah. Self-employment, unemployment, tax information. And it goes on to ask other children living in the household. Information concerning other parents. They also want children living with you along. So if I had a living girlfriend that had kids, I would tread lightly with this because they also want to know the following is other children else. The following information is required if you want other children with you considered by the court. So I would put their name, a social security number, date of birth, child relationship to me would be a stepchild. And then it asked for, like, if I had a living girlfriend, it asked for her name, other parent's name, be her name. Does she live with me? Yes. And the relationship to his parent would be cohabitation or whatever they call it nowadays anymore. But then it wants me to fill out information regarding my ex-wife, her name, her address, her date of her last address is known, her email address, her social security number, her phone number, her date of birth, her level of education, her social media. Also asked me, where does she work, her phone number, her employer's address, her state of her employer. And it says checklist, return the following questionnaire that I just read off here. Please read carefully. I signed it, dated it October 29, 2023. I mailed it back in. That's done. Okay. That was October 7th. Okay. Moving to November. So now I'm almost 3 months into this as of November. And I get another letter in the mail. It says review and modification unit review findings letter November 7th, 2023. Here that is. And it goes on to say, Dear Brian, the review and modification unit has completed the review of the above referenced child support order. The purpose of the review is to determine whether referral to the county authorized attorney for possible modification is appropriate. The order will be referred to the county authorized attorney for possible modification of the amount of the support of the child support. The financial information, when applied to the Nebraska Supreme Court guidelines, indicates a 10% or greater increase from the current child support amount. The case will be transferred to the county authorized attorney 30 days from the date of this letter. The attached guideline calculation is not a final child support order, but rather a recommendation based on the information available to us at this time. This amount may change at the time of the final court hearing. Please be advised that the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services Review and Modification Unit can only consider the financial information available at the time of the review. There are certain factors that the court may consider when computing your child support amount that could change the final child support order. For example, the court may consider other children living with a non-custodial party when computing the child support amount. In addition, financial circumstances may change between the time of the review and the court hearing that may increase or decrease the final amount of child support ordered. If the support order is modified to change the amount of support or to include healthcare coverage, the county authorized attorney will establish income withholding against the party ordered to pay support pursuant to Nebraska revised statute sections, blah, 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 blah. So what I'm looking at here, they reviewed the questionnaire packet that both her and I filled out and sent back. Okay. Now, child support enforcement reviews these packets, they crunch numbers, they go by, the state of Nebraska uses a child support calculator, so they input income from her and your income, and they run the numbers, and they come down with the magic final number for what should be paid, what each parent is responsible for support, okay? Which I'm not going to show that, but they do send me the basic net income and support calculation worksheet. And, like I said, like I just said, it breaks down her income, my income, taxes, what we contribute to retirement, blah, 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 and so on and so on to get to a final number. And the current number they have highlighted here, I currently pay, when I first started paying child support, I had my two sons were of under 18. So I started out paying $700 a month for my two sons. Okay. When the oldest one turned 19, he dropped off, and that reduced my support amount to $474 is what I currently pay now. And according to their findings here, I should be paying upwards to $638 for just the one son. Whether or not that will go that high, I have no idea. Like I said, this is my first rodeo. That's why I'm sharing this with you guys. If you guys have any experience with this, I would like to, send me an email, share me what goes on here. Particularly those guys that pay and stay in Nebraska. Like I said, every state's going to be, they have their child support programs in place. They might be similar, or they might be way different. But if anyone in Nebraska wants to share their story and how they went through this and what their outcome was, I'd like to read about it. So that was November 7th of last year. And moving on to December 8th, I get a short letter from a review and modification unit. This is a case transfer notice now. Right here, case transfer notice. Okay, telling me that they have transferred this December 8th, 2023. Brian. Of course, it says her versus me and the county name, court case number, blah, blah. It says, please be advised that the Department of Health and Human Services Child Support Enforcement Review and Modification Unit transferred the above reference review and modification case to the county authorized attorney. What that means is her income and my income are that far different that the support amount is much greater than the 10%. So now it goes to the county attorney, and then he or she will decide what will happen, move forward. And I'm sure we'll both get to make an argument as to why she'll make her argument why she wants it to go up, and of course I'll make my argument why I don't want it to go up. But it says, please wait at least 10 days before contacting the following. So it says, Lane County authorized attorney, child support enforcement, blah, blah. If you have any questions, blah, blah. And so on and so on. Sincerely, Review and Modification Unit. Okay, that was December 8th. Okay. And the last letter I got here was a week ago now. This is coming from Child Support Enforcement Division here within my county, in my little community. It says December 29, 2023. Case number, blah, blah, blah. Caption, her versus me. Court case number, blah, blah, blah. Dear Mr. Brian, our office has filed a complaint for modification of child support and notice of hearing in the above entitled case regarding the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services recommendation for modification of your child support order. It would not be necessary for us to have the Lincoln County Sheriff's Department serve the complaint for modification of child support and notice of hearing on you if you would come into our office and sign a voluntary appearance and pick up a copy of the complaint for modification of child support and notice of hearing. Please come into Lincoln County. Please come into the Lincoln County Attorney's Office located in the courthouse in this city during the week of January 8th. So yeah, next week, I have all week next week if you wish to sign the voluntary appearance. If you're unable to come during this time, please contact our office at this number. If we have not heard from you by the end of the day on January 10. Oh, so hold on here. I thought I had all week. Hold on here. Sometime during the week of January 8th. And if they don't hear from me or if they don't see me we not heard from you by the end of the day on January 10th, you will leave us no choice but to have the Lincoln County Sheriff's Department serve you with the complaint for modification of child support and notice of hearing. Lincoln County Attorney's Office, Child Support Enforcement Division, represents only the state of Nebraska in child support proceedings and does not represent other parties to the action. We appreciate your prompt cooperation in this manner. Sincerely, so-and-so. So, this is new. I guess I read that wrong. I guess I have to, says, please come by the Lincoln County Attorney's Office sometime during the week of January 8th. So I'm assuming I'd have from January 8th to end of day that Friday, January 12th to sign the voluntary appearance. And so probably have to go in there Monday to do that. So it looks like I'm gonna have to do that because I probably won't be home Tuesday, Wednesday. So I'd like to have the 8th to go get it. So moving forward, I don't know what all it's going to entail. I'm assuming we're going to go to court. I have no idea how this is going to work moving forward. So this, like I said, this is my first rodeo. This was the last correspondence I got was a week ago, December 29th of last year. And so I don't know what's going to happen moving forward. I'm assuming we're going to have to go to court to hash this out. I don't know if there will be a voluntary agreement. I really don't know, guys. Like I said, this is my first rodeo, and I'm going to share this experience with you moving forward. So this part of the video gets us caught up to where I'm at today with it. And so next week I'll probably take you guys along while I go drive to the courthouse and pick up my whatever I got to pick up here. I guess I got to sign a voluntary appearance and pick up a copy of the complaint. Oh, so I'll pick up a copy of the complaint for modification of child support and notice of hearing. So I'm guessing her and I are going to have to either sit down with the county attorney and figure this out, or maybe sit in front of the judge. I have no idea what this is going to entail, but rest assured, I will definitely fill you guys in with what I learn and share that information with you when it comes. So yeah, yours truly. I mean, I don't volunteer to be engaged in stuff like this. I just soon leave the family court out of my life. I don't want to be there. I don't feel it's necessary, but apparently she does. So I guess I'm gonna play the game, so to speak. And it's very unfortunate that two people cannot communicate with each other when it comes to things for your children. I've been very open and honest, direct with her. You can call me if you need anything. As a matter of fact, I have reached out to her a couple of times since this all started, saying, "Hey, do you need anything?" "Well, no, I don't need anything. I'm good." I did get her to blow up at me one night through text messaging, and says, "If you didn't need any help, why are we going to family court again and going through this merry-go-round?" I said, "Both of us don't need this. Both of us probably don't have the time to be playing in this arena, but she's accused me of not paying for some stuff, but yet if you don't text me or call me or inform me, hey, can you take little Johnny to go school clothes shopping as I did last year? Oh yeah, sure. I have have an allowance, and he's old enough now, he's got a job, so if he wants the designer clothes, he can buy that, and I will kick in what I would pay at Walmart for clothes, and so on and so on. But yeah, like I said, when this progress, I'll put up a new segment of the video, but the whole video won't be going to YouTube until everything is said and done with the modification. So it could be months yet, weeks yet, maybe months down the road before I can finish this video. But I will have it up when everything is done, once the final order is put in of what I got to pay, and we'll revisit that at a later date. But right now, that's all I got. I've got you all caught up from August to present day. And like I said, if you guys have any recommendations or suggestions, or even have your own personal experiences with this, please email it to me. I'll put my email address down below here off and on, so you can email me with what I might have to, well, would be looking forward to moving forward. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to wrap this segment of the video up, um, and we'll talk another time. Peace. All right. Good afternoon. Got an update video, as y'all are aware that I am currently going through a child support modification case. So yesterday when I got off work, I quickly changed my clothes and headed down to the courthouse. And I stopped into the Lincoln County Attorney's Office as instructed by my December 29th letter from Child Support Enforcement that I need to, by November 10th, I needed to have picked up there's 3 documents here. These 3 documents I need to have picked up by January 10th, which is tomorrow, or no, that's actually today. I'm sorry, that's today. But I picked them up yesterday. But if I hadn't picked them up by the end of the day today, then my county sheriff could serve me with these 3 documents here. I'll go over these real quick. Again, another update video. The 3 documents I have here in front of me is, in no really particular order. The first one is complaint for modification of child support. And I'll just go and read this real quick. In the district court of Sig County, Nebraska, of course, it's got ex-wife as a plaintiff, yours truly, Uncle Brian, as a defendant. Now remember, guys, more times than not, you are going to be, as a man, you will be the defendant, meaning you will be the one that's tried against, criminalized, and all sorts of stuff during divorce and custody hearings and child support modifications. So think about that when you start chasing the girls and want to have kids and what have you. But anyways, this form goes on to say, comes now, Deputy County Attorney on behalf of the state of Nebraska as intervener and pursuant to section blah, blah, blah of Nebraska Revised Status moves for a modification based on the referral of the Review Modification Unit of the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. The Review and Modification Unit of the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services has undertaken a review and forwarded a recommendation that child support be increased. Now, keep in mind, as remember in my previous video here, that both the ex-wife and I had to submit our financials to child support enforcement. Okay, so that's how they have come to this. There has occurred a change in financial circumstances, the application of which to the child support guidelines will result in a variation by 10% or more, but not less than $25 of the current child support obligation due to financial circumstances which have lasted 3 months and can reasonably be expected to last an additional 6 months pursuant to Nebraska. Blah, blah, blah. Supreme Court R4-217. Wherefore, it is moved that child support be increased to an amount consistent with the current Nebraska child support guidelines dated this 29-day December of 2023, which is just about a couple weeks ago. Okay, that is the reading of the complaint for modification of child support. I'll slide that one aside. And the next document I have here is, it's a voluntary appearance. I'm not gonna hold up close to the camera, but there it is. Again, it's in the District Court of said county, Nebraska. Ex-wife is the plaintiff. Me, yours truly, Uncle Brian, is the defendant. Voluntary appearance comes now defendant Uncle Brian, and one, acknowledges receipt of a copy of the complaint for modification, which I just read and set aside over here, of child support and notice of hearing in this action, and is aware that in order to defend the lawsuit, he must file an appropriate written response with the clerk of the district court in said county, Nebraska, within 30 days after receiving a copy of the complaint for modification of child support and notice of hearing. Defendant, yours truly, Uncle Brian, is further aware that if he fails to file such written response, the complaint for modification of child support filed herein will be taken as true and judgment entered accordingly for the relief demanded in the complaint for modification of child support. Paragraph 2 acknowledges that he is not in the military service of the United States and entitled to relief pursuant to the Service Members Relief Act. And 3, voluntarily enters an appearance herein in lieu of summons and reserves the statutory right to file a responsive pleading. Of course, I dated that. That was yesterday, January 9th, 2024. Of course, I signed it and notarized by a notary. So this is acknowledging that I am voluntarily appearing for what, when I read notice of hearing, I'll be reading off the date of the court hearing. So that is the voluntary appearance. Set that aside. And well, let me go back to this real quick. I've contacted the deputy county attorney here. He's the one that's going to be kind of presiding over this, along with the child support. I guess there's a judge that presides over child support cases, modifications, or what have you. I kind of consulted with him this morning. I made a call about 9:30 this morning and kind of talked to him about, hey, what should I do? I mean, because this is my first rodeo. All I wanted was to, when we signed the decree, I got my final copy, ink is dry. I was hoping that I would never have to partake in the family court circus. But well, here I fucking go. I'm going into the family court circus here, and I will read the notice of hearing here, and I'll give you the date of the trial. I'm thinking I will probably type up a APA, American Psychological Association, formatted letter, submit that to the clerk of the district court, and have that submitted on my behalf. From what I understand, her and I will stand up in front of what they call that as intervener. The deputy county attorney will be there. He will be asking both the ex-wife and I questions on behalf of why we need to address child support. I guess the judge in this will be considered a district court child support referee. So, but anyways, I'm thinking I will probably, just to cover my ass, I will type up a letter, and I also have a copy of that for myself that I will take into the hearing and kind of refer off of that to kind of state my case as to why I don't want the child support to increase. I got 30 days to draft that up, which I'm going to start here soon. I'll rough draft it and amend it as I go, as I remember things that come up. But that is the voluntary appearance form here. The next one I'm going to read to you real quick is going to be notice of hearing. Here's the notice of hearing. Of course, as you see, I've scribbled out all important names, including mine and the ex-wives and the judges, and the deputy county attorney, because I don't want to give names out in my video. So here it is, notice of hearing in the district court of said county, Nebraska. Ex-wife is a plaintiff versus yours truly, Uncle Brian, the defendant. Notice of hearing to Uncle Brian and ex-wife. Please take notice the above captioned matter has been scheduled for hearing before district court child support referee, such name, and for the district court of said county, Nebraska, at the courthouse, such address, Nebraska, on the 5th day of March 2024 at the hour of 10 a.m. You should govern yourself accordingly. Dated this 29th day of December 2023, state of Nebraska, intervener. Of course, it's signed by the deputy county attorney, which is he'll be the intervener for this hearing, along with the judge that is known as a district court child support referee. I got the feeling both of these are, I know the deputy county attorney is a man, and I believe when I read the name of the child support district court child support referee, I also get that his name is also male in form. So I was kind of worried about, because one of the judges in my county is also a female, and the county attorney is a female. So I was concerned I was going to go up against a a female panel with the county attorney and a judge. So I was not feeling very good about that, but I'm feeling a little better about it being kind of male led here. So don't know if it's going to do me any good, but yeah, I do have a court date March 5th of this year. So roughly just under a couple months at 10 a.m. I will dress almost in my Sunday best and appear in front of the child support referee, along standing next to my ex-wife. She will be pleading why she should be entitled to additional child support, and I will be pleading against why I shouldn't have to pay more. I believe I have a solid case. I just don't know if I need an attorney. I may kind of check around town, talk to a few law firms, and see if it's worth paying for an attorney, or if I just type up a written response to this and have it filed, have it, I sign in front of a notary, then I pay the court costs to the county clerk, and then he or she will submit it in behalf of me for our case. So I got kind of areas there I'll figure out, and I might put up another update video before we end up going to court. But right now, that's what I got. That is the update. These are definitely things I'm gonna have to ponder over the next 5 weeks at least. During that time, I will draft up my response to my pleading here and have that submitted on my behalf. And then, of course, I will bring that document with me when we do go to court. So, like I said, guys, this is my first rodeo. I am very unsure as to what's going to happen here. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to pay more child support. Like I read, it could be no less than $25, but it could be 10% or more based on the current rate I currently pay. So this might not be that bad, or I could get raked over the coals. I just don't know, guys. If you have any experience in this manner, please send me an email. Well, I guess this video will come out after I go through, so I guess I'll have to worry about your guys' email responses. But if you want to share your guys' experience, by all means, send me an email or comment down below. And until the next video, guys, I will keep plugging away at this. And if I choose to put out an update before the trial date, unless I find out any new information, then I will put out an update video. But otherwise, that's all I got for today. Have a great day. Stay warm if you're in the northern country. Otherwise, stay cool if you're in the southern part of the country. Toodles. Well, good afternoon, children. I'm going to take the glasses off because I'm not going to be reading anything to you today. As you all might be becoming aware, yours truly had a date in front of the judge for child support modification today. And needless to say, it didn't go good for me. And as I went in there with the higher expectation that I had a written testimony. The ex didn't have a lawyer. I didn't have a lawyer. We both went in there without legal representation. I probably was the worst dummy of the whole deal, because as you know, as other guys, you like Rolo and Aaron Clary and Rich Cooper and Coach Greg Adams and Fresh and Fit, and all these guys are telling you guys about the risks of having children in marriage. And yet you don't understand the dynamic of that until you actually go through the family court process. And I will tell you guys, I learned a lot from it today. I mean, I was deeply disappointed. My end result is my child support is going to go up $200 from its current amount. So I'm essentially going to be paying almost the same amount of money for one child as I did when I had two, when I started paying child support. Now, um, I don't even know where to go with this. I can go every direction with this whole monkey court bullshit crap. But the point is, had I had the information then that I have now, don't get me wrong, I love my kids. I love my children. I do. I would do anything for them. But the reality is, it's it's non-conducive to having kids, to having families these days. It's more punishing financially to the dad than any, it's emotionally taxing too. I mean, because I have to change now what I do moving forward when it comes to helping out. Um, I was paying a lower sum than what I'm going to be expected to start paying April 1st. And what was funny is they were going to prorate this to January 1st. So if they'd have made a ruling today, I'd be 3 months in arrears, and I'd probably be getting letters from the state saying you're in arrears, you're going back to court. Guys, this is no fucking joke. You don't fuck with this. You stay away from women, you stay away from having kids, because once your seed leaves your fucking body and enters hers, guess what? You're on the fucking hook. In the state of Nebraska, it's 19 years. Other states, it might be 19. In others, it's 18. But guys, I'm telling you, get familiar with your family law, the laws of family court in your respective state. Tread lightly. And like I said, I don't want to sound like I'm badgering the women, but this whole family court system is geared for the benefit of women. A man does not stand a chance. That was a lesson I learned today. I did not stand a fucking chance sitting in that courtroom today. Not a chance. I'd written up a testimony that I read to the judge. It didn't matter. All it mattered was the numbers the state came up with between her income and my income, and that's all that mattered. It that that whole system takes away parenting from the dad. It takes away my ability to parent my child. It really does, because now I've essentially been replaced with my bank account. So now I'm going to be forced to pay a higher amount of child support. And then when my kid comes to me and says, Dad, can you help me pay for this? I have to say I can't, because I'm not going to be able to afford to. I mean, I pay your mom now this X amount of dollars in child support. You're going to have to figure it out with her. I cannot provide financially for you anymore because I do it now. And that's what kids don't understand. They don't understand. And I'm pretty sure the mothers don't either, or they do, or I don't know. Maybe there's a ploy behind all this that just eliminates dads out of the picture altogether. And like I said, I can go all directions, but my experience with this was just horrendous as a dad. Horrendous. It really makes me second guess my life decisions I made 20. Oh, let's see, I was married 19 and a half years, I've been divorced almost 4. So about 23 years. I mean, I've heard horror stories, and I thought, oh, that can't happen to me. That can't happen to me. Well, fucking did. This all started back in August. Like I said, there's subsequent videos on this matter that once I get done with recording here, I'll package this all together and put it out there for everybody to watch. But guys, you have to be careful what you're doing out there when it comes to women. And like I said, I'm not blaming women for this. I don't want to come across as blaming women for it. As a matter of fact, I called the GF and updated her on what happened today. And I said, I don't blame you girls for this. I blame the system, because it just shows you how easy a lot of these women will go to the state when they're not getting their way, or when they think they're not getting their way, and they can go to the state, request a review, and then get a modification. I mean, it's just like that. It's unfucking real. And so now as a dad, I'm at a loss as to, well, now this is going to upset my kid, because when he comes to me and he wants me to help him pay for this or do this, I can't help him. And him and I went around and around with this a year ago, February. and it's really impacted my relationship with my remaining son. And so what these women don't understand is when they do this stuff, they think they're punishing the dad. They're punishing their ex-husbands, ex-boyfriends. They think that's the end goal. Well, you're not necessarily punishing me. You're punishing the kids. This affects the kids more than it will ever affect me. I mean, yeah, I'm pissed off that I got to pay extra, and I have to navigate this now a little differently moving forward. But it's going to affect the kid more than it's going to affect me. I mean, he'll turn 19, he'll drop off, and I'll be done paying. But the impression and the oh, just the aftermath of it is going to affect him more than it already is. So now it puts him in a position where now he's already struggling in school. He's struggling with going to school, struggling with the schoolwork. Now this puts it back even further. I mean, this is we're talking irreversible damage now. And deal is I'm gonna be the one that's gonna get the backlash for it because, well, Dad, why aren't you doing this? How come you're not doing that? Why aren't you doing this? Well, son, because I can't afford to do this and that now because I this is the money I pay additionally to your mom now. You're gonna have to, and I'm gonna have to send him out to his mom. Hey, figure it out with your mom. I don't care if you come down here, we hang out, we do whatever, we go fishing. But as far as me providing any financial assistance to you, I can't help you. I cannot help you because the state has, like I said, the state enters into your life and they get to determine what happens with your wealth. And this is just one big wealth redistribution scam. It's all it is. It's wealth redistribution, guys. And I'm here to tell you, and like I said, there's other content creators there that said the same thing. You really have to watch what you're doing. You have to be careful. The family court system has not caught up with the current times. It has not. We're still, this stuff is still, I know Nebraska uses a calculator, but they don't take into consideration how involved that dad wants to be in that kid's life. And when you take more resources from him, that pulls him further away from being that kind of dad he wants to be. So it affects me as being a father. I mean, it's, like I said, I'm still going to learn from this because now moving forward, how I interact with my ex are going to be different now. How I interact with my youngest son's going to be different now. I mean, things are going to be different. Going to be a lot different moving forward because now I'm being further punished for being a dad, and I'm being further punished for being I want to say, a successful man. I mean, if I was a complete deadbeat, not working a job, I wouldn't even get a slap on the hand. But I go to work every day or most every day. I work hard, I make good money, and now I'm essentially a walking target for my ex-wife. She could at any time pull that bow back and shoot the arrow right in my back, and we're back in court. So I don't I trust her a lot less now than I did before today. So to dumb it down for you grunts even further, you got to remember when your seed leaves your body, you will be on the hook for the next 19 years, regardless of how long you stay married. And I'm going to tell you right now, child support has nothing to do with divorce. Nothing. You could be in a long-term relationship. You could even be in a one-night stand with a woman. But once your seed leaves your body, you are on the hook for 19 fucking years of child support. 19 years. And majority of the women know that they can go to the state. I'm proof of that, guys. That's why I'm here recording this video, because I'm letting you know. Women, majority of the women, if not, I'm going to say all women, understand that they have the backing of the state. They can go to the state at any time and put any child support order on you. And they will. Most of them will. I mean, I've got a couple buddies that got lucky and don't have to pay child support. But for them guys, you got lucky. I will tell you, you got lucky. And rest assured, you won't get lucky the next time. So just, I can't stress it enough. It's heartbreaking to realize that, I realize I'm not the only one going through, but thousands of men are going through this on the daily, and they're getting asses handed to them. The one thing, like I said, the one thing I took out of it, that judge asked me, "Do you understand the amount that's?" No, I said, "No, I don't understand." I kind of got a little upset. I wouldn't say hostile, but upset. They had to bring in a deputy sheriff to sit in there for the last 15, 20 minutes. And then when we was done, that same deputy escorted the ex-wife out because I'm not gonna lie, I was a little pissed off. I was like, no, this is, it's utter bullshit. Uh, my whole deal is my goal as a dad is to co-parent with the ex-wife. That's all I ever wanted to do was to co-parent. And yeah, I've turned down some things. Yeah, I've made a comment to her that, yeah, that's where you get child support, blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, I don't really turn anything down. But then on the other end of that, she's never communicated anything that she needs help with out there. So I, again, I've tried working with her a handful of times. I've kind of given up on it because she's always turned me down for help. Again, it's that strong independent narrative, which you girls can shove that down your fucking ass. You know, strong and independent anytime a woman says strong and independent, you can almost call bullshit on that. There's always some guy that's paying her either alimony, child support, or paying her car payment or whatever. No woman is truly strong and independent. So don't fall for that narrative. My ex-wife said that to me too before we got divorced. She's essentially told me she didn't need me. She can do this on her own. Well, here we are. I'm helping her out with the state order. I'm helping her out, guys. Well, I'm strong and independent. I don't need no man. Yeah, the fuck you don't. So here we are. Um, I know this sounds more like a tirade video. I probably am popping off, but this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Um, guys, just and like I said, this is a video more for the younger guys. These are guys that are well, essentially my youngest son's age, 16, and from about 16 to 30. You're out there chasing those girls. I don't care what you do, but you do not let your seed enter her body unless you fully intend to support that child. And in a lot of instances, when the relationship breaks up, that includes marriages. When those break up, family court essentially removes the father from the equation and replaces the father with money. And that's what happened to me today. And I've always felt that. But when my oldest son dropped off and I was paying a couple $100 less, which now I'm going to be making that up here beginning April 1st, it freed up funds to where I can allocate more to helping out with the youngest one. Well, apparently the ex-wife didn't think that was good enough, so she went ahead and did a request, and it was almost. Well, let me see. My youngest one dropped off would be a year ago this month. So April 1st of last year, I paid a $200 less than I did, well, currently do now, but now I'm going to be making that back up here April 1st. So, um, I felt a little more financial free that way. I can allocate that money more towards my youngest kid. If he wanted to tank a gas or if he wanted, um, help with trap, buying stuff for trap, I could allocate that. But now it's like now I got to pay that money back to her, and I have no wiggle room whatsoever to provide anything else for him. So like I said, this is going to devastate him even further than what he already is. So I mean, I don't know what to do with it because from what I understand and the take I get from this, and I know people opinions will vary, is that I've learned today that your ex-wife, girlfriend, whatever you have, one night fling can at any time put you on the hook for child support, or in my case, even modify that child support order. So that's something you got to really think about. And like I said, I didn't have this information when I was 22, 23 years old when I got married. And then a couple years after that, we started having kids. That thought never crossed my mind. Never crossed my mind. that I'd be in a situation I am today. And of course, a lot of people say, well, Uncle Brian, that's your fault. You should stay married and blah, blah, blah. Well, in an ideal world, yeah, that'd be true. Not too many people get married and then plan on being divorced later. No, that was not my intention. That was not her intention, but things happen and it happened. So, but now instead of being able to co-parent, I am now forced by the state to provide more funding out there to her place. So now I'm back to fully supporting my life here and I'm fully supporting their lives out there. So again, I'm back to fully supporting two households. And so, but I just want to get this video out there. I want the young guys to pay attention to stuff. Pay attention. Ask questions. I mean, ask your dads, ask your uncles what, if you got a divorced family member, sit down and ask him, not necessarily her, but him. Say, hey, uncle, what happened? How'd you fare in divorce? I think young men need to be asking these questions. They need to be sitting down and talking to their dads, talking to their uncles, and finding out, getting advice. Not too many young men are getting advice anymore. They're kind of jumping in these relationships and or marriages without a clue what the consequences are if that relationship fails. And so I feel like I have to take on the cool uncle and put the word out there along with all the other guys that are out there doing the same thing. Hey, we're out here to protect our younger brothers, out here to protect our sons, because this is no joke. This is no joke whatsoever. I'm almost laughing, but I'm borderline pissed off. Um, this is no joke. And there are women out there, they are unforgiving. And apparently I have one of those in an ex-wife. She is unforgiving. And so that's something you got to, like I said, I've learned more about my ex-wife today than I did in the 20 some years I've known her. This is a vindictive move on her part. I'm almost concerned of it. Played off as if he's not doing anything, blah, blah. Pretty much played me off as a deadbeat dad that I don't pay for nothing. Well, I offered you this, offered you that, offered you that. You refused it. Yeah, I refused to pay for something one time. I probably made a mistake and said, "Oh, you get child support, so you can buy that." But for the most part, I've been very receptive and open. If she just come to me or call me and text me, say, "Hey, like they bought a car that the youngest one drives to from school now that I never got a call or text saying, hey, we're looking at this specific car. Why don't you meet us over here at Joe's car lot, look at it and see what you think and go from there." But no, I never got a call. It's like youngest kid got a brand new Browning Satori shotgun for trap season over under. Researching that gun yesterday, that's a $3,000, $3,500 shotgun. That's like, no, and again, I never got a call or text and hey, we're looking at this shotgun. I'd probably turn that down and say, hey, well, do you think we can find something used like we did the oldest boy? The oldest boy got a used Beretta for a trap gun. We didn't get a brand new trap gun for him. He got a used Beretta. And I think that still sets back $900 to $1,100, I think. I don't remember off the top of my head. It wasn't cheap. But so yeah, I may add more or have another video on this stuff. But yeah, I'm a little worked up over it. I probably should have waited, but guys, I felt like I had to get the information out there sooner to you. Like I said, this is the first time I've sat in a courtroom, and it wasn't a heated deal, but after I walked out of there, it's like, no shit, I never had a chance. They already knew what they were gonna do before we even showed up today. So it's like I'd have been just as good as if I didn't show up. I could have went to work. I missed a day's worth of pay for this today. I took a vacation day, but still it didn't pay what I missed at a day's work. So I'm out wages. Now I'm out a couple $100 now every month because of it. So there's no economic benefit for me today or even moving forward. You got to realize, guys, that I can't say enough. This is no joke. This is no joke. If you cannot afford the children, keep your dick in your pants. if you are certain that the woman that you're with will never leave you, will never file for fault or a no fault divorce or put a domestic violence claim on you, then by all means marry her and have children and have that nuclear family. But the way it is in modern society, that's out the window. And I was just telling the GF here today, I said, I don't know. And I'd have to do the research on it. Somebody can probably tell me different, but I'm kind of wondering if the death rate is higher than the birth rate now. I just can't imagine guys are getting in line. I mean, there's plenty of beta simps out there that wife up a girl, have kids with her, and then turn around 10, 15 years later, or even sooner than that, get run through the ringer of family law like a lot of us did. I mean, I got ran through there today. I mean, there was no reach around and no lube, man. Just shove that baby right up there, and I had to take it. I had to take it. So, guys, I'm telling you, this is no joke. I wish I could have had a camera in there. I really did. Um, this is no joke. I didn't go through a complete hell, but it really confirmed my understanding of what this is really like. You hear stories. I follow Terrence Popp, I follow Aaron Clary, I follow Rich Cooper, I follow all them guys except Rolo and Aaron Clary. I think have all been through the divorce machine. I know Rich Cooper has. He shared his story. I know Terrence Popp has. I've heard his story. Until it happens to you, you don't really understand. So I understand. So I get why it's hard to take in the information because, oh man, these guys are full of shit. This will never happen to me. I used to have that mindset for a while until I did take my red pill journey. It's like, well, maybe these guys are onto something and I probably ought to be paying attention. And thank God I have, because had I gone in there without the red pill lens, I'd probably be in jail because I'd have flipped the fuck out. But knowing what I know now, I kind of went in there with a level head, with a clear mindset. I knew I was going in there getting fucked. It didn't matter what I said or did. I just went in there with a stoic mindset and I made an argument and it didn't matter. So I can't think of anything else to add to this other than it's just a complete utter nightmare. And if you're women, kudos to you for getting this system twisted and turned to where it benefits you. Like I said, I'm not mad at the ex-wife for it. I mean, if you're if if there's a system geared in your favor that you can take advantage of, why wouldn't you not take advantage of it? It's like if you got overtime at your job and every day you're taking that overtime from your job. You're sitting there, oh, I'm going to sit here and make a little overtime, even though you're not doing nothing. I'm going to make overtime. I mean, it's a system that in the best that benefits you, you're going to take advantage of. You see it everywhere. It's at work. It's at how you look at the current political climate. There's people in positions of power that take advantage of their position all the time. So why wouldn't a woman take advantage of the family court system and use it to her advantage? I mean, today was a classic example of how a woman will just at any given point in time, she knows the system's there for her benefit, so why not use it? Kudos to her. Like I said, I can't be mad at her for it. I'm mad at the state because we've allowed democratic policies, people vote this crap in, and then all it's doing is damaging the working class people like myself, and mainly men, because women aren't paying child support. uh, Probably less than 1% of women actually pay child support to their ex-husband. Mainly it's the 99% of people paying child support are men. So now you're affecting the working class man. You're affecting the guys that built this economy, that built society. And what's going to happen, and just real quick before I go, is there are guys out here that know how to buck the system, so they don't work. And when they don't work, it was funny. I've got a true story on this too, but I'm not going to mention where it or who or where it came from. But a guy goes in, he's only paying minuscule dollars a week for child support, but he doesn't work a job. He gets behind on child support, goes to court, judge doesn't even slap him on a hand. He works a job that lays him off from time to time. And of course, the judge just has sympathy. Oh, I understand that line of work. Yeah, you do get laid off. And then that's that. Me, I wouldn't get that kind of luxury. I'd be raked over the coals if I was behind. If I was in arrears for child support, I'd be way behind. I'd be raked over the coals for it. I really would. So what's going to happen is more and more men are going to they're going to check out and they're going to be like, fuck this. Why should I go work hard and be punished for it at the same time? That's another way I look at it too. It's like, well, I go out, I go to work, I deal with the bullshit, the politics of a job. I get it. But at the end of the day, it's like, well, if I'm going to have to redistribute my wealth to somebody else, what's the use of even going to work? What's the use of going to work if you're going to have to if the state's going to make you redistribute your wealth to an ex-wife, either in the form of alimony or child support? What's the use of going to work? What is the use? So what's going to happen is these guys are going to start checking out and saying, "Well, fuck this! I'm not going to go to work if I got to hand over my uh, quarter of my quarter of my paycheck over to an ex-wife. Why should I go to work? What's the incentive? Yeah, I can put off trips and travel vacation. I could deadbeat around here as long as I can avoid the family court system. Why the hell not? Like that'll work for some people, but it won't work for everybody. And there's proof that it does work for some guys. There's some guys out there that buck that system and they're good at it, and they don't get any trouble for it. I'd be the guy that would try that, and then I would get fucked. I go sit in jail because I was behind on child support. Forget about the guy ahead of me in case that, well, he hasn't worked in a couple of years and he can't pay his child support. So I guess, well, we're sorry, man. And then to let him go. So it's a screwed up system. It is a screwed up system, guys. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going on a tirade. Just keep in mind, guys, that be responsible out there. Watch who you're having children with or thinking you might want to have children with. And always, always, and Aaron Clary will say it, get a vasectomy. I do support that. I really do. If you're a man that's had his kids already, yeah, go get a vasectomy by all means. I mean, I'm going to tell you to do that, but yeah, it'd be highly recommended in today's society, especially as gung ho as the women are on using the state to get what they want. I'd really be watching where you throw your seed at or who you throw it at because it will get you in trouble. So with that, guys, I hope this video helps. I know I went on a long tangent. I'm still a little bitter about this whole ordeal. But you got to face reality, guys. This isn't going to change. It's not going to change. I've even told the GF, I said, and the GF is a relatively traditional woman, has proven to me time and time and again, she has more of the traditional values. She sides more on, not causing financial harm, or she just has those good traditional values. So I can talk to her about these things and she gets it. And so there are women out there that do not cause financial harm to their guys. There are good women out there, guys. I'm not gonna, like I said, I don't want this video to come across so I'm bashing women because I'm not. I'm bashing the system because the system has made it so easy for a lot of women to take advantage of it. And it's not fair. And all she had to do was reach out to me, call me, text me, and say, "Hey, I'm looking at getting this for our son for Christmas. Do you want to go halvesies with it?" Yeah, sure. What is it? Tell me about it. But nope, she don't call, don't text, or nothing. So she goes straight to the state and says, "Well, I need my child support reviewed." And it's no different than me. And I use this analogy. I'll throw it out there too. It's no different than me wanting to buy a $50,000 car at Joe's car lot instead of going to the bank and asking for the money to buy that car. I go to the court. I go to the county attorney and saying I want to file charges against Wells Fargo Bank because I want to get 50 grand to buy this car. That's the same analogy. Instead of walking into the bank, talking to the loan officer, filling out the loan app, and seeing if I qualify for 50 grand, I just go to the state and say, "Hey, I want to sue Wells Fargo for 50 grand." It's no different. And it's the same analogy. So think about it, guys. Like I said, think about it. I cannot dumb this down any further than that. Just watch what the hell you're doing out there when you're tangling with these girls. Some of them are out there for a free meal ticket. and they can hide crazy just like that. So guys, watch yourself. If you got any similar stories, please put them in the comments. I'll be happy to, or you can email me. I'll put my email address in here. You can email me. Let's share stories. Let's, guys, I'm here to tell you, you're not the only one. Yours truly, your only Uncle Brian went through it today. And that's why I put this video here to help you guys understand what's going on, what really goes on. So with that said, I hope you guys have a great day. Toodles.